The Law of Money, 19 Timeless Principles to Master Wealth. Written by Justice O. Malcolm. Published by Audiobooks. Office Introduction. There are 1,000 books on success, and most talk too much about luck and too little about law. They wrap mystery and metaphors, preach virtue or cleverness as the golden ticket, or promise that visualizing wealth will somehow cause dollars to appear in your pocket. But wealth is not magic, nor is it myth. It is the practical outgrowth of inner law acted upon with intelligence, confidence, and persistence. This volume is not a manual of methods, but a philosophy of force. If you expect schemes for speculation or shortcuts to fortune, close these pages. But if you desire to awaken the silent powers within you, if you wish to understand how money moves, why it flows to one and not to another, and how to become the kind of person it must obey, then you will find in these pages a map for that terrain. Let us begin with an honest premise. Money matters not because it is noble or sacred, but because under the current construction of civilization, it is the lever by which almost everything else is moved. Want to educate your children? You'll need money. Want to care for your body, mind, or loved ones' money? Again, it has become, for better or worse, the tool that grants access to almost every form of freedom and growth. In primitive times, man's resource was his hands. He hunted, built, and traded in kind. But as society scaled upward, we exchanged barter for bills and strength for strategy. The man who once traded fish now trades ideas. The woman who gathered herbs now consults money no longer tied to physical labor, follows energy, and energy always originates from within. This book teaches that wealth is not a product of effort alone, nor even of intelligence alone, but of conscious directed will, aligned with universal laws. Just as gravity pulls the apple from the tree, there are mental and spiritual laws that draw money into your life, or repel it. Those laws are always operating, whether you know them or not. This book is written to make you aware of them so you can stop fighting the current and learn to navigate it. The structure of this work is deliberate. Each chapter is its own block in the foundation, meant to rouse your reason, stir your self-faith, and challenge your assumptions. You will not be handed a checklist for riches, but rather shown the blueprints for financial self-construction. And you will be told often and plainly, there is no effect without a cause. If your income is low, your thinking may be the reason. If your wealth is fleeting, your habits may be the fault. If money always seems just out of reach, then perhaps you have yet to extend the right kind of hand. We shall speak then of law, not law as statutes, but as structure of action, not mere busyness, but intelligent effort of belief, not vague hope, but unshakable inner conviction, and of power. Not external control, but the type born within. When you finally realize you do not beg for money, you become a magnet to it. This is a study in applied idealism. It begins with the premise that the mind governs the world, and that through it you may govern your own. We begin now. For more information about the ebook version of this audio, check the video description or visit audiobooks.com. We notice that 65% of you who listen to our video are not yet subscribed to the channel. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Chapter 1. The Law of the Inner Force in Every Venture. For financial success, the first and most potent force is the spark that originates deep within the individual. A quiet, sometimes unnoticed yet ever-present inner power. It is not a fleeting emotion, nor a passing whim, but the very foundation upon which wealth is constructed. This inner force is the will to rise above ordinary thought, and the courage to trust in one's own potential. It is the silent engine that, when awakened, sets in motion the chain reaction of success. Imagine for a moment the nature of a seed buried in the soil. The seed carries within it the complete blueprint of a towering tree, However, its transformation into something grand does not occur by mere chance. It requires the latent energy of its inner force, the drive to sprout, reach out and embrace the sunlight. So too does the human mind hold within it the hidden capacity for achievement. Recognizing and nurturing this inner force is the first step toward financial prosperity. The modern world often confuses external validation with genuine power. Many chase after the glitter of temporary wealth or the transient satisfaction of a quick profit, forget that true success is not built upon the surface of material gain, but upon the inner realm of thought and conviction. The inner force, when properly harnessed, directs not only one's actions, but also the energy that attracts opportunity. It is a magnetic quality, drawing forth the right circumstances to complement one's aspirations. However, awakening this force is not a matter of idle, wishful thinking. It demands a disciplined approach to self-awareness and mental cultivation. One must begin by casting aside limiting beliefs that confine the potential within. Too often the voice of self-doubt drowns out that inner strength, leaving behind only the echoes of defeat and resignation. To liberate this force, the individual must commit to the deliberate cultivation of positive thought, to a rigorous self-examination of one's habits, and to the consistent practice of aligning one's actions with a higher purpose. Financial success, therefore, is not accidental, but the deliberate outcome of an awakened mind actively engaged in the pursuit of its highest ideals. Consider the process of a sculptor working with a block of marble. The raw stone appears inert and lifeless, but within it lies the potential for magnificent art. The sculptor's vision, combined with focused and persistent effort, transforms the unyielding mass into a work of beauty and value. Similarly, the inner force is the visionary spark that sees the potential for wealth in the most unpromising circumstances. It guides the mind to seek not just any profit, but the right kind of profit, one that harmonizes with the individual's true nature and long-term objectives. The journey begins with self-trust, confidence in one's own ability to overcome obstacles and to transform challenges into opportunities is essential. Each setback, instead of being a marker of defeat, should be viewed as an invaluable lesson, a necessary recalibration of one's approach. The inner force is resilient. It endures through failure and emerges stronger with each trial. When the mind is fortified by this confidence, it rejects the notion of scarcity and embraces the abundance that is its rightful inheritance. To harness the inner force, one must adopt a mindset of purposeful action. It is not enough to simply wish for wealth. One must act with determination and clarity. Every decision, every effort must be imbued with the understanding that the power to create financial success lies within the mind. This inner force, when unleashed, sets in motion the law of cause and effect. It ignites a cycle where intelligent action attracts opportunities, and each success further strengthens the resolve to achieve more. Thus, the law of the inner force stands as the cornerstone of all financial achievement. It is the quiet strength that transforms potential into reality and dreams into achievements. In the chapters to come, we shall delve deeper into the external manifestations of this inner power and explore how to channel it effectively into concrete actions that yield wealth. But remember, all external triumphs begin with a single internal step, a commitment to awaken and nurture the dormant force within. Chapter 2. The principle of dynamic reciprocity in the ground of financial success. Every action sets in motion a corresponding reaction, a law as immutable as gravity. This is the principle of dynamic reciprocity, the idea that every purposeful act sows the seeds of a proportional effect. It is not enough to simply harbor desire or to nurture an inner force. The external world demands that thought be followed by action. and action in its turn be met with the appropriate response. The universe is a vast network of exchanges. In nature, the sun's rays bring forth life in human affairs. Every decision or initiative triggers a ripple that shapes our destiny. The principle of dynamic reciprocity teaches us that nothing occurs in a vacuum. When you invest effort, when you engage your talents in the pursuit of wealth, the world responds by aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in a way that mirrors your intention. Therein lies the secret. To receive the fruits of your labor, you must first set the gears of action in motion. Consider the analogy of a stone cast into a tranquil pond. The initial splash may be modest, but as the ripples radiate outward, they cover a far greater area than the original impact. Your actions are like that stone. A well-planned initiative or a determined step toward your goal sends out waves of influence that eventually return to you as success, even in the face of obstacles. The law of reciprocity remains true. An effort made in earnest may at first meet with resistance or seeming indifference, but as the ripples grow, they gather momentum, transforming setbacks into opportunity. Yet this law is not mechanical or blind. It demands intelligent action, random effort. Haphazard work or an undirected burst of energy will only yield results. The response you attract depends entirely on the quality and direction of your efforts. Thus, every action must be purposeful. Align your deeds with your highest objectives and with the deep inner force that you have awakened. When you act with clarity, discipline, and a strong conviction, the universe reciprocates in kind, sending you the resources you need to continue your ascent. This is where the difference between wishful dreaming and genuine achievement is drawn. Many aspire to wealth, believing that sheer desire will invoke the powers of attraction. Yet, desire without action remains as inert as a dormant seed. It is through the deliberate conversion of thought into action that success is born. Every step you take is an act of faith, a declaration that you are ready to engage with the world and that you believe in your capacity to shape it. With every positive act you affirm your commitment, and the environment responds with the material proof of your determination. Action also carries with it the valuable lesson of adaptation. The initial reaction from your environment may not always match your expectations. Here, the principle of dynamic reciprocity invites you to learn and adjust. Encountering a challenge or a temporary setback should be seen not as a failure, but as feedback, a signal to refine your methods in this process. Perseverance and intelligent recalibration become your allies when you encounter resistance. Ask yourself, how can I modify my actions so that the ensuing reaction aligns more closely with my purpose? In doing so, you transform each setback into a stepping stone toward eventual triumph. Dynamic reciprocity is the great equalizer. It does not favor the chosen few arbitrarily. It rewards those who act with integrity, purpose, and persistence. It teaches that the wealth you desire is not an elusive phantom to be summoned by magic, but a tangible result of clear, consistent, and thoughtful effort. Your every move, how small, contributes to the larger pattern of success. Thus, as you venture further into the realm of financial achievement, let this principle be your guide. Act deliberately, measure your actions with wisdom, and understand that every deed, every thought made manifest will eventually come back to you multiplied if your efforts are true, and your purpose resolute. In the dynamic interplay of action and reaction lies the rhythm of prosperity, a rhythm that once mastered will conduct the symphony of your financial success in life when you are ready. We shall proceed to the next chapter, where we explore the magnetic force of attraction that draws wealth toward those who align their inner vision with purposeful deeds. Chapter 3. the law of attraction within the framework of financial achievement. There exists an unseen force that pulls like a magnet, the law of attraction. This principle is simple yet profound. It declares that like attracts like, and the nature of your thoughts and actions will determine the caliber of wealth that comes into your orbit. The power of attraction is not an abstract idea confined to dreams. It is a real dynamic process that channels the energy of your inner world into tangible material returns. At the heart of the law of attraction is the notion that every thought carries a vibration, a distinct frequency that interacts with the environment when your mind is set on abundance, on the certainty of success. You naturally project a magnetic energy that draws opportunities and resources towards you. Conversely, if your thoughts are mired in doubt or scarcity, you inadvertently repel the very prosperity you seek. It is the alignment of your mental state with the vision of wealth that creates a receptive environment for financial success. Picture your mind as a finely tuned instrument. When it resonates in harmony with the frequency of abundance, it produces a melody that the universe cannot ignore. Every time you affirm your capability to achieve, and every action you take to materialize your plans, you add a note to that harmonious tune. The law of attraction is not a passive occurrence. It is a call to conscious creation. It demands that you become aware of the quality of your thoughts, and that you make a deliberate effort to nurture those that are in sync with your aspirations. One must understand that attraction is not a magical summoning of riches out of thin air. Rather, it is the natural outcome of cultivating a mindset that is clear, confident, and focused on success. When you begin to view your goals as inevitable, you unlock a series of actions that align with that certainty. Opportunities that once seemed invisible gradually reveal themselves, as if the universe had been waiting for you to send the right signal. In this way, every idea, every plan, every effort becomes a stepping stone towards financial abundance. Yet the true beauty of the law of attraction lies in its dual function. Not only does it bring the rewards you desire, but it also reinforces your belief in your own potential as you observe the tangible results of your focused thoughts. Be it through unexpected business prospects, timely advice from a mentor, or a sudden windfall of resources, your confidence grows. This success in turn acts as a catalyst, further strengthening the magnetic pull of your desires. It is a self-reinforcing cycle where positive thoughts beget positive outcomes, and those outcomes empower you to think even bigger and bolder. The process of harnessing the law of attraction involves more than mere positive thinking. It calls for a balanced integration of mind and action. Set your intentions clearly, and then engage with the world in a deliberate, unwavering manner as you work steadily toward your goals. You must also remain open to the subtle signals that indicate new possibilities. Sometimes the universe communicates through gentle nudges, a chance encounter, an insightful conversation, a fleeting idea. Recognize these moments for what they are: invitations to expand your financial horizon. In practical terms, developing the power of attraction begins with the cultivation of gratitude and the elimination of internal barriers. List your successes, however small, and use them as evidence that your mind can indeed create wealth simultaneously. Cast off any lingering doubts or negative beliefs that could 2. Diminish your vibrational energy. The more you affirm your right to abundance, the more firmly you establish the energetic conditions necessary for prosperity. In summary, the law of attraction is the silent partner in your journey to financial success, a force that, when awakened and harnessed, can transform your deepest aspirations into reality. It is the culmination of your inner vision, the catalyst that translates thought into tangible wealth, and the foundation upon which a prosperous future is built. Embrace this law with intention and clarity, and you will find that the universe is always ready to meet you halfway when you feel ready. We shall turn our focus to the next chapter, exploring the art of definitive purpose, how setting clear, unwavering goals can channel the forces of both attraction and action into a pathway toward unstoppable success. Chapter 4, The Power of Definite Purpose. Every great achievement begins with a vision, a clear, unwavering purpose that serves as the loader for all your actions. Without a definite purpose, even the most persistent efforts can scatter into the winds, dissipating energy and diluting potential. In this chapter, we explore the essential nature of purpose and how its clarity and steadfastness are indispensable to the realization of financial success. Definite purpose is more than a simple goal. It is a focused conviction that crystallizes your aspirations into a tangible direction. It is the act of setting aside the multitude of distractions that life throws at you and anchoring yourself to one clear objective. This unwavering focus acts as a magnet for the opportunities that align with your vision, just as a lighthouse guides ships through turbulent seas. A definite purpose illuminates the pathway through uncertainty, enabling you to navigate the complexities of a dynamic financial landscape. When your purpose is firmly defined, you transform abstract dreams into concrete plans. The process begins with introspection, a rigorous examination of your strengths, desires, and values. It is here that you must ask yourself, what is the one thing you can do better than anyone else? What is the unique contribution you are meant to make? The answers to these questions reveal contours of your true calling. With this clarity, you can construct a blueprint that not only charts a course for financial achievement, but also aligns with your inner identity. A well-defined purpose compels action. It is not sufficient to merely articulate your aspirations. You must also commit to the practical steps required to manifest them. When every decision is filtered through the lens of your purpose, the seemingly disparate activities of daily life begin to converge into a unified strategy. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. And every setback becomes a lesson that sharpens your focus rather than saps your will. This disciplined approach transforms challenges into stepping stones and instills in you a resilience that is critical in the pursuit of success. Moreover, definite purpose serves as an internal compass, keeping you aligned with your long-term vision, even when external circumstances shift unpredictably in a world where financial markets fluctuate and fortunes rise and fall. Your steadfast purpose remains the one constant. It is the foundation upon which you build your success, a source of energy that fuels your endeavors, even in moments of doubt or adversity. With a clear purpose, you harness the power of your inner force and direct it with precision, ensuring that your efforts are both efficient and effective. In practical terms, crafting a definite purpose involves setting measurable and realistic objectives. Break your overarching vision into smaller, manageable milestones that serve as checkpoints along your journey. Each milestone reinforces your commitment and provides tangible evidence of progress, further boosting your confidence as you achieve these incremental successes. The momentum builds, and your purpose becomes not just an ideal but a lived reality. The journey to financial success is not a matter of serendipity. It is the result of deliberate, informed action. A definite purpose acts as the catalyst that converts the raw energy of your inner force into directed, purposeful action. It is the keystone that connects every aspect of your life, from your mental attitude and emotional resilience to your practical strategies and daily habits. When all these elements are harmonized by a clear, focused purpose, the law of attraction and the dynamics of reciprocal action aligned to create a powerful current that propels you toward your ultimate goals. Thus, in the quest for wealth and success, the power of definite purpose cannot be underestimated. It is the guiding light that transforms scattered ambitions into a coherent strategy, the constant that remains when the world around you is in flux. And the force that ensures every effort, every thought, and every action contributes to the realization of your deepest aspirations. When you are ready, we shall delve further into the next chapter, exploring how determination and the unwavering will to act build upon this purpose to further unlock the doors of financial prosperity. Chapter 5. The unyielding power of will in the grand design of financial success. Will is the engine that transforms purpose into tangible achievement, while a clear objective sets the direction. It is the unwavering power of will that propels you forward, even when the terrain becomes treacherous. Will is not a mere whim or fleeting desire, it is a determined resolve, a steadfast commitment to act in accordance with your highest aspirations. Regardless of the obstacles that may arise, imagine the relentless force of a river carving its way through solid rock. It is not the river's volume alone that shapes the landscape, but its persistent drive and determination to find a way. Similarly, the force of your will works quietly yet persistently, overcoming barriers and reorienting setbacks into opportunities for growth. This inner strength is not born of momentary passion, it is nurtured through continual, deliberate practice. Every decision you make, every action you take, must be a testament to your determination to succeed. The modern world is replete with distractions that can weaken your resolve. In an era where immediate gratification is just a click away, the art of steadfast determination is a rare and powerful quality. The power of will is about resisting the lure of temporary comforts in favor of long-term goals. It requires a disciplined mind that can silence the doubts and fears that inevitably arise along the journey to success. When you cultivate a strong will, you create a mental fortress, one where negative thoughts are kept at bay and only constructive forward-driving ideas are allowed passage. To harness this power, it is essential to acknowledge that the process of building will is itself a journey marked by both small victories and inevitable setbacks. Each setback, rather than a cause for despair, should be regarded as a critical lesson in fortifying your resolve. Every failure, when met with an unyielding will, becomes a stepping stone toward a more refined approach. This transformation of adversity into advantage is the hallmark of those who truly understand the art of willful determination. It is through will that you marshal the forces of your mind and spirit. Your thoughts, when aligned with a determined heart, gain the clarity and focus needed to break through the inertia of everyday challenges. In this crucible of effort, you learn to trust in your own capacity to overcome obstacles. Confidence is born out of repeated successes, no matter how modest, and with each triumph your will grows stronger, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of achievement. Remember, the true measure of will is not in how you start, but in how you persist when circumstances test your resolve. Practical application of will requires setting up systems and habits that support your determination. Begin by outlining specific, measurable goals that are rooted in your larger vision. Each daily action, each disciplined routine contributes to the building blocks of your future success. Do not allow yourself the luxury of complacency. Remain vigilant and proactive in the pursuit of your objectives. The power of will demands that you take full responsibility for your progress. It is not enough to dream of success. You must be willing to work relentlessly toward it. The synergy between will and action is undeniable. Every bold step you take is an expression of your inner commitment, a manifestation of the unyielding power of will. With every deliberate action, you are not merely moving closer to your financial goals, you are reshaping your entire approach to life. This transformation is subtle at first, emerging as a quiet confidence that eventually radiates outwards, influencing every aspect of your interactions and decisions. In conclusion, the unyielding power of will is the crucible in which all financial achievements are forged. It is the resolute drive that keeps you moving forward when external conditions seem hostile. Cultivate this inner strength with persistence and patience, and let it serve as your constant companion on the path to prosperity. Embrace every challenge as an opportunity to test and strengthen your resolve, for it is through this unbreakable determination that true financial success is ultimately realized when you are ready. We shall move forward to explore the next essential principle, where the melding of belief in oneself with unwavering confidence creates an unshakable foundation for further prosperity. Chapter 6. Confidence and belief in one's own abilities are not mere byproducts of success. They are the very foundation upon which success is built. When you truly believe in yourself, you do not wait for fortune to knock at your door. Instead, you become its master, attracting the opportunities and resources necessary for prosperity. Confidence is that inner light which dispels the shadows of doubt and fear, allowing you to stride boldly in the direction of your dreams. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon with the opposite bank rich in promise, yet separated by an intimidating chasm without self-assurance. The leap seems impossible. Yet, when your inner resolve is fortified by confidence, you perceive the canyon not as an insurmountable void, but as a challenge waiting to be overcome. Belief in your own abilities transforms the abstract notion of success into something tangible, achievable through deliberate and focused effort. This chapter is a call to nurture and solidify that inner belief. Financial success, like any other form of achievement, demands that you trust in the strength of your ideas and the validity of your methods. Too often, individuals allow the critics within and the cynics without to undermine their self-worth. They let the echo of past failures dictate the limits of their future potential. To break free from this cycle, you must first recognize that the true barrier to success is not the external world, but the internal voice of doubt. When you silence that voice, you create space for confident, creative thought, a fertile ground where success can take root. Confidence is not something that appears overnight. It is cultivated through experience, through the repeated affirmation of your skills, and through the continuous practice of stepping outside your comfort zone. Each small victory, no matter how minor it may seem, reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than you ever imagine. With every obstacle you overcome, the foundations of your self-confidence are strengthened, setting the stage for even greater achievements in this process. Setbacks are not failures, but lessons, a recalibration of your strategies that further builds your resilience. At its core, belief in oneself is a declaration of independence. It is the recognition that the power to shape your destiny lies within your own hands. When you trust in your own judgment and abilities, you no longer wait for validation from external sources. You become the architect of your own future, constructing plans with the precision of a master builder who knows the worth of his tools. This self-reliance fosters an unwavering determination that keeps you moving forward even when the road ahead seems fraught with challenges. Yet, confidence must be tempered with humility and a willingness to learn. The journey to financial success is one of continuous growth, where each new experience enriches your understanding of both your strengths and your limitations. Embracing this dynamic balance allows you to navigate the complexities of the modern world with poise. It empowers you to seek out mentors, absorb wisdom from unexpected quarters, and integrate diverse perspectives into your personal strategy. In doing so, you not only bolster your self-assurance, but also broaden the horizon of what you believe is achievable. Alzietsumana. Ayuba, or the power of belief extends beyond your personal sphere. It is contagious. When you project genuine confidence, others are drawn to your vision, eager to contribute to your success. This magnetic quality creates a ripple effect, turning individual confidence into collective momentum. It is the foundation upon which networks are built, ideas are exchanged, and mutual success is celebrated in the realm of financial achievement. The strength of your self-belief can serve as a beacon, inspiring and mobilizing others toward a common goal. In conclusion, confidence and belief in your own abilities are not optional luxuries on the path to financial success. They are essential catalysts for transformation. Embrace your inner strength, silence the whispers of doubt, and let your self-assurance shine as the guiding light on your journey. As you build and nurture this cornerstone of success, you unlock the potential not only to dream, but to achieve, turning each aspiration into a stepping stone toward a prosperous future. When you are ready, we shall progress to the next chapter, where the power of persistent effort and unwavering determination will further illuminate the path to financial prosperity. Chapter 7. Expectancy and persistency. There is an almost tangible quality that precedes every achievement, a deep-seated expectancy that what is sought will eventually manifest. This is not mere idle optimism or fleeting hope, but a resolute, unwavering anticipation that every action, every thought, every effort will yield a reward. It is the quiet certainty that, even in moments of trial, the seeds of success are being sown. When you adopt a mindset of expectancy, you position yourself to see beyond present circumstances. You learn to recognize that the forces of nature and chance are aligned with your inner vision. It is a belief that every effort, however modest, contributes to the vast reservoir of eventual triumph in the realm of financial success. Expectancy is inseparable from the practice of persistency. Persistency is the relentless continuation of purpose despite setbacks or delays. It is the quality that drives you to act day after day, regardless of the hurdles that may arise. The persistent individual does not falter at the first sign of adversity, for they understand that the path to achievement is rarely straight. Every obstacle encountered is not a signal to stop, but a challenge to be met with renewed vigor and strategy. With each effort, the gap between aspiration and reality narrows, and the unseen forces of chance align ever more closely with your intention. Both expectancy and persistency share a common source: an internal conviction that success is not a matter of luck, but of law. They teach you that every moment of diligent action reinforces the natural order. Every determined step forward adds momentum to the accumulation of wealth. As you develop these qualities, you begin to see the subtle interplay between your mental state and the external world. Your expectation sets in motion a chain reaction, a series of cause and effect relationships that gradually build into tangible progress. It is a dynamic process where faith in the outcome compels you to sustain your efforts, and each small victory, no matter how insignificant it may appear at first, serves to bolster your resolve further. The practice of persistency involves cultivating habits that reinforce your belief in eventual success. It is the art of making each day a deliberate exercise in building your future, no matter the obstacles. There is a quiet strength in the steady, persistent effort, a quality that distinguishes the dreamers from the doers. Persistency is not a mere repetition of action, a continuous refinement of your approach based on experience and reflection. It is learning to view each setback as an essential component of progress, a necessary trial that refines your strategies and strengthens your character. In this process, your actions become a series of deliberate, well-calculated moves that steadily close the distance between your current state and the desired future. As you embrace expectancy and persistency, you begin to recognize the subtle transformation occurring within the act of persisting, reinforces your belief, and this growing expectancy in turn fuels even more consistent effort. Each trial becomes an opportunity to adjust, to improve, and to reinforce the certainty that your endeavors will ultimately bear fruit. This interconnected cycle of expectant action and unwavering persistence does more than just produce material gain. It cultivates a mindset that sees every challenge as an opportunity to forge stronger resolve, to hone your methods, and to awaken the latent forces that lie within the process. Is both rigorous and gradual, a series of incremental steps that over time lead to an undeniable shift in both perception and reality. Every moment spent in diligent pursuit of your goals adds a new layer to the foundation of success, setting the stage for future achievements and larger rewards. Chapter 8. The role of a constructive mental attitude. A constructive mental attitude is the silent architect of financial achievement. It is the underlying frame on which all acts of will, expectation, and persistence are built. Your mindset is not a transient state. It is a constant force that influences every decision and every encounter. In cultivating this attitude, you learn to see challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and reinvention. Imagine your mind as a vast landscape where every thought and emotion shapes the terrain. A positive mental attitude lays the groundwork for a rich and fertile field where ideas can take root and flourish into tangible results. This field is nurtured through the deliberate cultivation of optimism, resilience, and clarity. It is the same clarity that enables you to distinguish between mere wishful thinking and the purposeful actions that forge a path toward prosperity. A constructive mental attitude is forged through self-discipline and deliberate reflection. It requires you to actively counter negative influences, both internal doubts and external criticisms, that can cloud your vision. By challenging these influences with affirmations of capability and purpose, you create a buffer against the pervasive forces of skepticism and defeat. This ongoing process of mental renewal is akin to the regular maintenance of an engine. It keeps the system running smoothly, ready to convert potential energy into kinetic achievement at every moment within this realm of thought. Every belief, every expectation, and every action is interconnected. A mind that nurtures a positive outlook naturally gravitates towards solutions and sees the inherent value in every experience. It is this mindset that transforms setbacks into stepping stones. For instance, when faced with a sudden obstacle, a constructive mental attitude prompts you to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Rather than succumbing to despair, each such inquiry strengthens your resolve and sharpens your capacity for innovation, leading to decisions that are both thoughtful and effective in the pursuit of financial success. Your mental attitude functions as both shield and catalyst. It shields you from the corrosive effects of defeat and uncertainty, and it catalyzes your efforts by imbuing each action with intentionality. This attitude is not an innate trait possessed by only a few. It is a skill that can be developed and refined over time through practices such as meditation, journaling, and the conscious reinforcement of your achievements. You lay a firm foundation for an enduring, productive mindset. This internal environment of positivity not only affects your personal endeavors, but also influences those around you. A person with a constructive mental attitude exudes an energy that inspires and galvanizes others in the realm of business and personal relationships alike. Such energy is magnetic, draws collaborators, mentors, and opportunities toward you, aligning external circumstances with your internal vision. The alignment between your thoughts and the world's responses creates a feedback loop that further solidifies your belief in your own capacity to succeed. Moreover, the constructive mental attitude is dynamic. It is not static or rigid, but continually evolving with every new experience and every fresh insight. As you grow in confidence and broaden your understanding, your attitude adapts to incorporate both your successes and the lessons learned from setbacks. This dynamic quality ensures that your mindset remains relevant and responsive, capable of adjusting to shifting circumstances without losing sight of your ultimate objectives. A mind geared toward constructive thought does not dwell on past failures or future anxieties. It focuses on the present moment, harnessing its energy to build a future that reflects your highest ideals. Every thought becomes a building block for success. Every decision a deliberate stroke in the blueprint of your financial future. This mental discipline, cultivated daily, allows you to harness the cumulative power of your experiences, directing them toward outcomes that are both innovative and profitable. Chapter 9. Intelligent Action in the Pursuit of Wealth. Intelligent action is the bridge that spans the gap between thought and achievement in the realm of financial success. Ideas and principles remain dormant unless activated by deliberate, focused effort. It is not enough to envision prosperity or to feel the stirring of inner forces. The true alchemy lies in transforming those visions into reality through calculated, purposeful action. Consider the process of a craftsman at work. He does not simply possess the knowledge of his trade or the inspiration to create beauty, he acts upon it with precision and care. Each chisel stroke, every measured cut is an expression of his understanding and commitment. Similarly, intelligent action involves not just acting, but acting wisely. Combining the clarity of thought with the discipline of execution, when your actions are guided by reason and purpose, they align perfectly with the universal laws that govern success, turning potential energy into the momentum of achievement. The essence of intelligent action is the conscious selection of tasks that directly contribute to your financial goals. It requires the ability to discern which efforts yield the most significant returns and the courage to focus on those pursuits relentlessly in a world filled with distractions and countless diversions. The art of prioritizing becomes paramount. Intelligent action is therefore an exercise in self-mastery, knowing when to act, how to act, and when to hold back, so that every move you make is a step in the direction of your ultimate aspirations. One must understand that not all actions are created equal. Random or hasty actions, no matter how energetic, often lead to scattered results and wasted opportunities. Instead, intelligent action demands that you first analyze your situation, assess your resources, and determine the most effective strategy to achieve your goals. It is a process that involves both critical thinking and creative problem solving, a fusion of the analytical and the imaginative. By examining past experiences, learning from both successes and failures, and adapting your approach accordingly, you refine your ability to act with precision. Moreover, intelligent action is closely tied to the notion of timely execution. There exists an opportune moment for every venture, a moment when the confluence of inner readiness and external circumstance creates a fertile ground for success. To wait too long or to act prematurely is to risk the erosion of that delicate balance. Instead, a person who masters intelligent action is one who remains vigilant and ready to seize the moment when it arises. This readiness is not a passive state. It is the result of continual preparation and a deep abiding commitment to one's goals. In practice, intelligent action takes many forms. It may be the meticulous research undertaken before launching a new venture, the disciplined execution of a well-devised plan, or the swift, decisive response to unforeseen opportunities. Each of these expressions of action is marked by an inherent understanding that every effort carries the potential to alter your financial destiny. When you act intelligently, you transform ordinary activities into strategic moves that harness the power of reciprocity and attraction, drawing the necessary resources to your side. This mode of action also entails a constant reassessment of your methods. in the dynamic landscape of business. And wealth creation circumstances are ever-changing. The strategies that yield success today might require refinement tomorrow. Intelligent action, therefore, is not static. It is a continuous cycle of evaluation, adjustment, and renewal. By remaining adaptable and open to new insights, you ensure that your efforts remain both relevant and potent, enabling you to navigate challenges with ingenuity and resolve. Intelligent action is the embodiment of the principle that the seed of every effect lies in a deliberate cause. It is a declaration that the road to financial success is not paved by chance, but by thoughtful, determined effort, a process where each carefully chosen step builds upon the last, creating an unbroken chain that leads inexorably toward the manifestation of your dreams. Chapter 10. Opening the Way for Abundance. There exists a principle in the pursuit of wealth that calls for creating pathways through which prosperity may flow, a process of actively opening the way for opportunities to arrive. In this chapter, the focus shifts from internal forces and deliberate actions to the creation of channels that allow the energy of your effort to materialize into tangible financial gain. This is not a passive waiting for luck to strike. Rather, it is an assertive, creative act of removing obstacles and constructing corridors that invite abundance. Picture a stream obstructed by fallen branches and debris. Although the water's potential to nourish the land is immense, the barrier prevents its full force from reaching the fields below. Similarly, your ideas, willpower, and persistent efforts are potent sources of energy that require a clear, unobstructed path to translate into wealth. To open the way is to actively dismantle the barriers that restrict this flow. It involves evaluating your methods, identifying the limiting habits that stifle progress, and making decisive adjustments that ensure your actions align with the dynamic rhythm of opportunity. The act of opening the way begins with a mindful assessment of your present circumstances. Look closely at your environment, your network, and the resources at your disposal. What factors hinder the free movement of your energy? These might be outdated strategies, internal fears, or external systems that are resistant to change. Recognizing these obstacles is the first step toward dismantling them with a clear vision of what must be cleared. You can then mobilize your inner strength and intellectual acumen to modify your approach, ensuring that every decision is an act of creating a smoother channel for progress once these obstacles are identified. The process of opening the way becomes an exercise in strategic planning, much like an engineer designing a conduit for water. You must determine the most effective route for your efforts to reach the intended destination. This planning involves setting intermediate objectives that, when achieved, expand the pathway for further success. Each small breakthrough reinforces the idea that the channel is widening, and every incremental step contributes to a larger, more accessible route toward abundance. This process is enriched by the willingness to embrace change and the courage to experiment. Opening the way requires innovation, a departure from the status quo in order to build new bridges where old ones have crumbled. It is a deliberate act of creation where you infuse your plans with the flexibility to adapt to evolving circumstances. As you experiment with new ideas and methods, you learn to identify which alterations yield the most promising results in this ongoing cycle of testing and adjustment. Every obstacle removed becomes a gateway that ushers in fresh opportunities. The significance of opening the way is also found in the willingness to seek assistance and collaborate with others. In many instances, external perspectives can reveal hidden blockages that you might overlook on your own. Whether it is through mentorship, networking, or collaborative projects, engaging with a broader community can accelerate the process of clearing your path. The exchange of ideas in such Partnerships often uncovers innovative solutions, further enhancing the channels that direct wealth toward you. It is important to recognize that opening the way is not a one-time event, but a continuous process as new challenges emerge and circumstances evolve. The channels you have built must be maintained and occasionally expanded. This demands a persistent vigilance, a commitment to regularly review your progress and to remain receptive to new opportunities that can refine your approach. With each cycle of review and adjustment, the conduit for financial success becomes more robust, ensuring that the energy of your inner force is not stifled but is allowed to surge forth with increasing power. Embracing the act of opening the way invites a proactive stance toward the future where every decision contributes to a greater flow of abundance and opportunity. Chapter 11. The Principle of Value and Merit in the Relentless Pursuit of Financial Achievement. One discovers that wealth is not merely a byproduct of effort. It is the direct consequence of the value one creates and the merit of one's endeavors. Value and merit are intertwined, each amplifying the other. When you provide genuine worth in every act and transaction, you establish a foundation upon which wealth is built. This is not a matter of superficial exchange, but of cultivating an inner richness that reflects in every outward action. At the core of this principle lies the understanding that value is measured by both tangible output and the intangible qualities of integrity, originality, and relevance. It is not enough to simply engage in activity. The activity must resonate with a sense of purpose that others can perceive and experience. When you commit yourself to offering something of real worth, whether it be innovative ideas, a service executed with excellence, or a product that genuinely solves a problem, you set in motion a dynamic that attracts prosperity. The merit of your work, when recognized, becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. Your contribution gains value in the eyes of those who matter, and in return, you are rewarded in kind. The creation of value begins in the realm of thought. It is there that ideas are born, and it is through disciplined analysis and creativity that these ideas acquire substance. The individual who seeks financial success must be willing to invest in self-improvement and continuous learning, refining their skills, in deepening their understanding of the world. In doing so, they not only enhance their own capacities but also raise the quality of the contributions they can offer. This process of internal enrichment is essential, for it transforms mere labor into a meaningful expression of talent and passion. Merit, on the other hand, is the recognition of that value by the broader world. It is the acknowledgement that you possess a unique capability or insight that can drive progress and create wealth. This recognition is not automatically granted. It is earned through persistent, intelligent action and a steadfast commitment to excellence. Every effort you make must be geared toward demonstrating the worth of your ideas and the quality of your execution. When you approach your work with a focus on building genuine merit, you signal to the universe that you are not merely participating in the marketplace of ideas, you are shaping it in practical terms. Applying the principle of value and merit means taking deliberate steps to measure the impact of your actions. It requires an honest assessment of your strengths and an unflinching acknowledgement of areas where improvement is needed. By aligning your efforts with your true potential and seeking out feedback from trusted sources, you can refine your approach and ensure that every move you make is imbued with quality and substance. The continual process of self-assessment and adjustment is essential, for it ensures that your contributions remain relevant and competitive in a rapidly changing landscape. Furthermore, understanding that value is not static but evolves with time encourages a proactive stance toward innovation. New ideas and methods must be constantly explored and integrated as the environment in which you operate is in perpetual flux. Embracing change and remaining adaptable are crucial elements of maintaining and enhancing the merit of your work. The capacity to see emerging opportunities and to adapt your strategies accordingly distinguishes those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. Recognizing and embodying the principle of value and merit transforms how you interact with every aspect of your financial journey. It instills a sense of purpose in each endeavor, urging you to seek not just profit, but the creation of enduring worth. Chapter 12, The Art of Capital Investment. Capital is not merely the sum of money one accumulates. It is the vital resource that, when employed with wisdom, multiplies the forces of your inner drive. Investment, in its truest sense, is an art form. The deliberate placement of your resources into ventures that not only yield financial return, but also amplify your capacity for future achievement. The art of capital investment calls for both analytical precision and creative vision, a fusion of intellect and instinct that transforms modest beginnings into a flourishing reservoir of wealth in the realm of financial success. Capital functions as a catalyst. It is the medium through which your ideas and determined efforts are given tangible expression. When wisely invested, even a small sum becomes the seed from which vast prosperity can sprout. This transformation, however, is not automatic. It requires a disciplined approach, like a skilled gardener who selects the best soil and nurtures each seed. The investor must evaluate opportunities with a discerning eye, ensuring that each investment aligns with both your immediate needs and your long-term vision. The process of investing demands an honest appraisal of both risk and reward. It is essential to understand that every venture carries with it a certain degree of uncertainty. Yet, within this uncertainty lies the opportunity to harness the law of cause and effect. Each deliberate allocation of capital is a cause, setting in motion a series of actions that, if properly managed, will yield the desired effect. Intelligent investment is therefore not a gamble based on chance, but a calculated, persistent effort to channel your resources where they will generate the greatest impact. A critical element in the art of capital investment is diversification. Just as a sculptor avoids focusing on a single piece of stone to create a multifaceted work of art, you must spread your capital across a range of endeavors. This not only mitigates risk, but also opens multiple channels for wealth to flow into your domain. Diversification allows you to benefit from the dynamic interplay of different industries, markets, and strategies, each acting as a reinforcing agent that supports your overall financial structure. Moreover, the discipline of investment is intimately connected with the principles of value and merit. It is not enough to invest simply because capital is available. You must invest in ventures that offer genuine worth and a clear path to expansion. Every investment should be evaluated on its potential to contribute to your broader objectives. Seek opportunities where innovation meets practicality, where the project reflects not only sound economic fundamentals, but also resonates with your own inner strengths and ambitions. Investing wisely also requires a steadfast commitment to continuous learning. The world of finance is ever evolving, and staying abreast of new trends, technologies, and market dynamics is essential to making informed decisions. This ongoing education fortifies your ability to discern between fleeting opportunities and those that promise sustainable growth. By merging the insights gained from experience with the creative spark of new ideas, you lay the groundwork for investments that compound over time, turning small beginnings into significant financial milestones. Furthermore, the art of capital investment demands that you exercise patience and persistence. Wealth, much like a well-tended garden, does not flourish overnight. It requires time to mature, a series of carefully measured steps, and the constant recalibration of your strategies as you invest. Remain vigilant and responsive, Monitor the progress of your ventures, adjust your course when necessary, and never lose sight of the overarching goal. Each reinvestment, each thoughtful allocation of capital contributes to the building of an ever stronger financial foundation. The careful orchestration of these elements, disciplined analysis, creative diversification, continuous learning, and persistent patience, creates a powerful synergy. This synergy transforms your capital from a static resource into an active multiplying force, driving the cycle of wealth forward and reinforcing the principles that underpin your financial success. Chapter 13, The Strategy of Financial Autonomy. Financial autonomy is the realization of one's self-reliance in the realm of wealth, a state where external dependencies diminish as the fruits of your labor and insight become the primary source of your prosperity. This chapter examines the strategies that empower an individual to secure independence from the forces that often bind one to external dictates. It is an invitation to take full command of your financial destiny through disciplined planning, creative execution, and a steadfast belief in the potency of self-determination. Imagine the life of an independent artisan who crafts his own tools and designs his own methods of production. In the same way, achieving financial autonomy requires constructing a personal framework that is resilient against the unpredictable fluctuations of markets and the often oppressive conditions imposed by external systems. This framework is built upon a solid understanding of one's own strengths, a clear mapping of future goals, and a continuous cultivation of skills that add tangible value to one's endeavors. Central to this strategy is the concept of self-investment. True autonomy does not come from passively waiting for fortune to favor you, but from actively harnessing your resources, be they mental, physical, or financial, to create an environment where success is not merely an aspiration, but an inevitable outcome. Invest in your education. Refine your skill sets and cultivate a network of relationships that both challenge and support your progress in doing, so you not only enhance your own capacity for achievement, but also build a community of like-minded individuals whose collective strength reinforces your independence. A critical element in this process is the development of diverse income streams. Relying on a single source of revenue can leave one vulnerable to external disturbances. Instead, look to create a portfolio of ventures, each designed to contribute its own steady flow of resources, whether through entrepreneurial pursuits, strategic partnerships, or innovative investment opportunities. Diversify your approaches to wealth so that the failure or fluctuation of one channel does not compromise the whole. This multifaceted strategy acts as both a buffer and an accelerator, ensuring that your overall financial health is sustained while simultaneously opening new avenues for growth. Equally important is the mindset of continuous self-improvement. Financial autonomy demands that you remain vigilant in seeking ways to enhance the effectiveness of your strategies. This involves a candid assessment of both successes and setbacks, where each experience serves as a teacher. Adaptability in this context is not merely a reaction to change, but a proactive effort to refine your method regularly, re-evaluate your goals, and the means by which you pursue them. Let the lessons of the past inform the innovations of the future. Such a dynamic approach transforms every challenge into a stepping stone toward an ever greater degree of independence. Moreover, the strategy for financial autonomy must incorporate a keen awareness of timing and opportunity. There are moments when the market shifts, when new technologies emerge, or when a fresh perspective illuminates a previously unseen path. The independent individual remains alert to these signals, prepared to pivot or expand their operations as the landscape evolves. This sensitivity to the rhythm of change not only maximizes potential gains, but also mitigates risks, reinforcing your position as the master of your financial domain. The process of achieving autonomy is in essence a disciplined march towards self-mastery. It requires a harmonious blend of analytical insight and creative daring, a willingness to explore uncharted territories while staying rooted in the practical realities of the economic world. By aligning your personal ambitions with a robust, self-sustaining strategy, you create a model of success that is both self-affirming and expansively generative. Each element of this strategy, from self-investment to diversification, from continuous improvement to the vigilant seizing of opportunity, works in concert to free you from the limitations imposed by external dependencies. In this state of financial autonomy, your achievements are not dictated by circumstance, but by the deliberate and intelligent choices you make every day. Chapter 14. Navigating Risk and Opportunity in the Realm of Financial Endeavor. Risk and opportunity are inseparable companions. They are not adversaries, but two facets of the same coin, elements that, when properly understood and harnessed, become powerful tools for growth. The path to wealth is rarely free of uncertainty. Rather, it is defined by the courage to embrace risk and the wisdom to transform it into opportunity. Risk, in its essence, is the willingness to step into the unknown, armed with purpose and preparation. It is the recognition that every venture carries inherent uncertainties, that the potential for failure is as real as the possibility of success. The prudent individual does not shy away from risk, but instead evaluates it with a clear mind, weighing its dangers against the rewards it might bring. Such evaluation is not an act of mere calculation. It is an art that demands both analytical rigor and intuitive insight. One must learn to read the subtle signals of the market and discern when a risk is worth taking and when it is a distraction from the true course of progress. Opportunity, on the other hand, often hides behind the veil of uncertainty. It is the potential that lies dormant until risk is taken and the boundaries of comfort are transcended. Every significant breakthrough in the history of enterprise has emerged from a moment when someone chose to invest in the uncharted, to see beyond the immediate hazards, and to believe in a better, more abundant future. The individual who successfully navigates risk does so by keeping a vigilant eye for these openings, understanding that the very factors that make a venture risky can also be the catalysts for its success. A critical aspect of this dynamic is the balance between boldness and prudence. Intelligent risk-taking is not a reckless leap into chaos. It is a disciplined exercise in strategic planning before engaging in any venture. One must gather all available information, analyze trends, and consider the potential outcomes with a rational mind. This preparatory work forms the bedrock of decision-making, transforming uncertainty into calculated opportunity with every risk that is methodically evaluated. The probability of success increases, and the lessons learned from occasional missteps serve as stepping stones toward a more refined strategy in the practical world of finance. Managing risk also means diversifying one's portfolio by spreading investments across various ventures and industries. You shield yourself from the volatility inherent in any single endeavor. Diversification is not just a safeguard, it is a way to capture multiple streams of opportunity, each with its own set of challenges and rewards this strategy requires. Constant monitoring and adjustment, the landscape of risk is ever-changing, and what once seemed a minor threat can evolve into a significant obstacle if left unchecked. Furthermore, the willingness to embrace risk opens the door to innovation when conventional methods no longer suffice. It is the spirit of adventure, the readiness to experiment and to explore new ideas that leads to breakthroughs in every trial. Whether marked by success or setback, there is valuable knowledge to be gained. Each experience sharpens your ability to assess future risks and to identify opportunities that others might overlook. The accumulation of these insights creates a self-reinforcing cycle where every venture matter how modest, contributes to a growing reservoir of expertise and confidence. Risk and opportunity are also intimately tied to timing. The market's ebb and flow dictate that the window for advantageous action is often fleeting. Recognizing the right moment to act requires both vigilance and the ability to act swiftly once the conditions are favorable. This temporal aspect underscores the importance of staying informed and agile as external conditions shift. So too must your strategies when the convergence of well-timed action and careful risk management occurs. The results can be transformative, unlocking new avenues for wealth and reinforcing the fundamental principle that financial success is achieved through both courage and strategy. Chapter 15. The dynamic cycle of reinvestment. Reinvestment is the vital process by which every earned dollar becomes a seed for future wealth. It is the art of taking the fruits of your labor and channeling them back into ventures that multiply your resources in the realm of financial success. Reinvestment is not simply a matter of saving or accumulating capital. It is a strategic, continual process that transforms short-term gains into lasting prosperity. Consider the process of tending a garden. A careful gardener does not harvest a portion of the yield and let the rest wither. Instead, a portion is always set aside as seed for the next cycle. In financial terms, reinvestment is that act of allocating a part of your earnings into new opportunities that ensure the growth of your capital base. This dynamic cycle requires not only discipline and foresight, but also a willingness to adapt to evolving circumstances in a competitive landscape. When reinvesting, one must first analyze the outcomes of previous endeavors. The lessons learned from both successes and setbacks are invaluable in refining your future strategies. It is essential to understand which investments have yielded positive returns and which ones have taught you critical lessons about market behavior and risk management. Through thoughtful reflection, you calibrate your approach, ensuring that every reinvested dollar is directed toward ventures that align with your overarching financial goals. The cycle of reinvestment is driven by a dual focus, preserving capital while simultaneously seeking growth. On one hand, it demands that you safeguard the assets you have worked so hard to accumulate. On the other hand, it calls for the boldness to venture into new areas that promise greater returns. This balance is achieved by diversifying your investments, allocating resources across various opportunities, such as new business ventures, innovative technologies, or established markets that continue to expand. Diversification not only minimizes the risks inherent in any single investment, but also creates multiple streams of income that support and reinforce one another. A critical component of the reinvestment process is the constant monitoring of the external environment. Financial markets are in a state of perpetual flux, influenced by economic trends, technological advancements, and shifts in consumer behavior. To make reinvestment decisions that are both timely and effective, you must remain alert to these changes. This vigilance allows you to identify emerging opportunities before they become widely recognized and to reallocate your resources in anticipation of shifts in market dynamics. In doing so, you transform each phase of reinvestment into a proactive rather than reactive maneuver. The reinvestment cycle also demands a high degree of flexibility. As new ventures arise and conditions change, the initial plans may need to be revised. Intelligent reinvestment involves regularly assessing the performance of your investments and being prepared to pivot when necessary. This dynamic approach ensures that your financial strategy remains robust and responsive. It is not enough to simply reinvest blindly. Each decision must be informed by careful analysis, strategic planning, and the willingness to embrace change. Moreover, reinvestment is intrinsically linked to the broader principles of value and merit. When you reinvest, you are not merely accumulating more capital, you are channeling your resources into projects that have the potential to generate greater value over time. This reinvestment of capital is a form of self-improvement for your financial portfolio, a deliberate effort to enhance your capacity to produce wealth. The continuous cycle of reinvestment becomes a powerful engine that propels you toward increasingly significant financial milestones each cycle, building upon the last in this ongoing process. The essence of success is captured in the ability to see every return as both a reward and an opportunity, a chance to reinvigorate your financial endeavors with fresh energy and a renewed strategic focus. Chapter 16. Innovation and adaptation in the pursuit of wealth. Innovation is not an isolated spark of genius, but a natural evolution of thoughtful progress, a vital force that works in tandem with time-tested principles to propel financial success in the complex landscape of wealth creation. The willingness to embrace new ideas and to adapt them to one's own circumstances is as crucial as adhering to the established laws that govern success. This chapter examines how the integration of innovative thinking with the wisdom of experience creates a dynamic environment where opportunity flourishes. Consider the evolving craft of a seasoned artisan who has mastered traditional techniques but is not afraid to incorporate modern tools and methods in the realm of finance. Such an artisan is one who understands that while the fundamental principles of wealth remain unchanged, the methods for achieving prosperity must be continuously refined. Innovation, therefore, is the deliberate act of questioning the status quo, exploring novel approaches and adapting strategies to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing world. It is the readiness to leave behind outdated practices and to experiment with new ideas that resonate with the spirit of progress. At the heart of innovation lies a deep respect for tradition, coupled with a hunger for improvement. The individual who aspires to financial success must first recognize the value in the established laws, the inner force, the law of reciprocity, the power of definite purpose, and, though on these principles provide the sturdy foundation upon which new ideas can be safely built, with this grounding, innovation becomes a process of enhancement rather than a rejection of what has come before. It is a symbiosis where modern techniques, new technologies, and creative problem-solving merge with time-honored wisdom to create strategies that are both robust and responsive. Adaptation is the practical expression of innovation in the financial arena. The environment is in constant flux. Markets shift, consumer behaviors evolve, and technological breakthroughs redefine industries overnight. The capacity to adapt, therefore, becomes a critical asset. Adaptation involves not only the willingness to modify your tactics, but also the foresight to anticipate change. This requires an ongoing commitment to learning and openness to feedback, and a readiness to recalibrate your approach when the indicators of progress suggest that a new path may be more fruitful. Each adjustment made in response to emerging trends is a testament to the adaptive mind, one that turns challenges into stepping stones for advancement. Moreover, innovation and adaptation are deeply intertwined with the notion of risk. Every new idea carries with it an element of uncertainty, and it is through the measured acceptance of risk that innovation takes hold. The innovative mind does not view risk as a deterrent, but as an inherent component of growth. By integrating risk assessment with creative exploration, you open the door to ventures that, while untested, possess the potential for significant reward. This calculated embrace of risk, when combined with the disciplined principles of financial management, transforms potential pitfalls into avenues for breakthrough success. Synergy also plays a key role in the process of innovation in today's interconnected world. Collaborative endeavors and the exchange of ideas often serve as catalysts for inventive strategies. Engaging with a diverse network of thinkers and practitioners not only broadens your perspective, but also creates a fertile ground for cross-pollination of ideas. This collective intelligence, when harnessed, amplifies the capacity for adaptation and the generation of novel solutions that address both current challenges and future possibilities. Innovation, therefore, is not a solitary pursuit, but a collective endeavor, one that demands both introspection and outward engagement. It is an ongoing journey of refining your methods, learning from each experience, and integrating the fresh insights gleaned from a rapidly evolving environment into your overall strategy for wealth. Chapter 17. The strength of strategic alliances. Strategic alliances form the backbone of a well-rounded approach to financial prosperity. In the intricate dance of success, no individual exists in isolation. Just as the finest machinery relies on the harmonious interaction of its parts, financial achievement is often amplified through the creation of mutually beneficial relationships by forging alliances with those whose visions align with your own. You unlock synergies that propel your endeavors to greater heights. At the heart of this principle lies the understanding that collaboration is not a sign of weakness, but a source of amplified strength. When you extend your network to include individuals, mentors, and even competitors who share a commitment to excellence, you create a dynamic ecosystem. Each connection offers a unique reservoir of ideas, expertise, and resources. These alliances act as channels through which knowledge flows freely and opportunities multiply, ensuring that the reach of your influence is far greater than it would be in solitude. Consider the image of a well-tended orchard. Each tree, while capable of bearing fruit on its own, thrives best when planted among others. Their branches intertwine, their roots together, they create an environment in which every element of the ecosystem flourishes. In the world of finance, strategic alliances work in much the same way. They allow you to leverage collective strengths, overcome individual limitations, and approach the marketplace with a comprehensive array of tools and insights. The formation of these alliances requires discernment and a commitment to shared values. It is essential to seek out those partners who not only possess complementary skills, but also exhibit the same unwavering dedication to intelligent effort and ethical conduct. When both parties approach the relationship as a partnership of equals, each contributing unique strengths and benefiting from the other, the alliance becomes a powerful engine for growth. The mutual reinforcement of capabilities not only enhances your capacity to seize opportunities, but also builds resilience in the face of market volatility. Building strategic alliances is an art that demands both sincerity and tactical acuity. Start by cultivating a mindset of openness and willingness to share. True collaboration arises from the transparent exchange of ideas and the joint pursuit of common goals. It is through regular interaction and constructive feedback that alliances are nurtured. This requires a deliberate effort to step beyond the boundaries of individual ambition, to invest in relationships that enrich the collective pool of resources. Every conversation, every shared experience contributes to a deeper understanding of how best to align your strengths with those of your allies. Furthermore, the network you build becomes a living laboratory for innovation in the interplay of diverse perspectives. New strategies emerge. Ideas that might have remained dormant in isolation suddenly take on vibrant life when influenced by the collective intellect. This collaborative spirit not only sparks inventive solutions to long-standing challenges, but also accelerates the pace at which you can pivot and adapt to the ever-changing demands of the financial landscape. Each alliance, therefore, is not merely a static connection, but a dynamic contributor to your ongoing evolution. The value of strategic alliances is also measured in the capacity to pool resources for larger ventures. There is wisdom in the adage that many hands make light work. When multiple parties unite their financial, intellectual, and emotional capital, even the most ambitious projects become attainable. By joining forces, you not only share the burdens of risk, but also enhance the potential returns of your combined efforts. This cooperative approach creates a ripple effect. Each successful venture builds the reputation of the group, opening doors to further opportunities that might have otherwise remained closed. In essence, the strength of strategic alliances lies in their ability to transform individual aspirations into a collective force. They serve as both shield and spear, protecting against the isolation of singular effort while driving forward a unified vision of prosperity. Through these alliances, you harness the power of collaboration to navigate the complexities of the financial world, drawing upon a network that enriches your strategies and broadens your horizons. Chapter 18. The Discipline of Self-Mastery. Self-mastery is the silent architect of all enduring success. It is the unwavering discipline that ensures every thought, every action, and every emotion is honed in service of a greater purpose, in the pursuit of wealth. Self-mastery means taking command of the mind and body so that your inner drive is never squandered by distractions or fleeting impulses. This discipline is not a rigid imposition, but a dynamic process of continual self-cultivation and adjustment, a conscious effort to align your daily habits with your highest financial aspirations. Picture a craftsman whose every movement is deliberate, whose tools are extensions of his own resolve. In financial terms, you must become that craftsman of your life, fine-tuning your decisions with precision and patience. Self-mastery involves the ongoing challenge of transforming raw potential into refined action. It is the process of establishing routines that reinforce your commitment to growth, of setting aside moments each day to reflect on your progress, and of rigorously eliminating habits that dilute your focus. When you exercise self-discipline, you are not merely controlling impulses, you are actively shaping your destiny, brick by brick, action by action. This discipline requires an intimate understanding of the self, a clear-eyed appraisal of both your strengths and vulnerabilities. Often the seeds of success are undermined by procrastination, self-doubt, or an overindulgence in temporary comforts. Self-mastery calls for a stark honesty with oneself, to acknowledge these weaknesses and to work tirelessly to transform them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. It is a conscious decision to place long-term objectives above momentary gratifications, to persist even when the immediate rewards seem elusive in the realm of wealth creation. Every decision is a test of self-discipline. The daily act of budgeting, the careful evaluation of investment opportunities, and the rigorous pursuit of knowledge, all are reflections of a disciplined mind. By committing to continuous self-improvement, you build a reservoir of mental strength that fuels persistent progress. This reservoir is replenished, not only by victories, but also by the hard-won lessons gleaned from setbacks. Each experience, whether triumphant or challenging, contributes to a refined understanding of your own potential and a greater capacity for measured, intelligent action. A key component of self-mastery is the ability to remain focused amid the ceaseless distractions of modern life, in a world that constantly competes for your attention. Cultivating a disciplined mindset is akin to creating a sanctuary within yourself, a place where your priorities remain unshaken by the external clamor. This inner sanctuary is nurtured through practices that calm the mind, such as meditation, reflective journaling, or even a deliberate pause for thoughtful planning. By fostering such practices, you ensure that the mind remains clear, receptive, and directed toward meaningful goals. Moreover, self-mastery is inherently linked to accountability. It is the personal responsibility you take for every decision and every outcome in financial ventures. This accountability means not blaming external circumstances for setbacks, but analyzing what could be improved in your own approach. It is the courage to admit errors, to learn from them, and to refine your methods without losing momentum. This process of self-regulation builds resilience, a quality that transforms challenges into catalysts for growth. As you build the discipline of self-mastery, you create an internal framework that supports every subsequent effort in your financial journey. It is the unseen force that underpins the laws of attraction, the strength of intelligent action, And the power of reinvestment. Each moment dedicated to self-discipline is an investment in your future, ensuring that your energies are focused, your decisions are deliberate, and your actions consistently lead you closer to the realization of your deepest ambition. Chapter 19. The pursuit of knowledge as the cornerstone of wealth. Knowledge is the quiet force that continuously transforms potential into tangible success in the intricate dance of financial achievement. Learning is not a mere accessory, it is the driving energy that refines every action and shapes every decision as you tread the pathway toward wealth. The constant pursuit of knowledge becomes your most reliable companion, sharpening your insights and illuminating the hidden corridors of opportunity. Envision the mind as a vast reservoir, one that expands with every new lesson learned and every experience embraced, just as water nourishes the land. Knowledge nurtures your ability to see the subtle dynamics of the financial world. It empowers you to decode market signals, to recognize emerging trends, and to harness the underlying principles that govern success. Every piece of information, every fresh insight contributes to a growing arsenal of strategies that fortify your endeavors in this relentless pursuit. Education is not confined to formal institutions or traditional texts. It flourishes in every interaction, every observation, and every challenge encountered along your journey. The seasoned entrepreneur who refines his methods through experience, the innovative mind that adapts to shifting paradigms, and the determined individual who reads voraciously, all are united by a common thread, a commitment to lifelong learning. It is through continuous study and deliberate reflection that you convert fleeting ideas into powerful tools for wealth creation. This process demands both humility and courage. Humility, for it requires the recognition that no matter how much you have achieved, there is always more to learn. And courage, because it propels you to venture into unfamiliar territories of thought and practice, embracing the unknown. You discover that each new challenge is a lesson in disguise, a chance to refine your understanding of the laws that govern success. In the act of learning, you liberate yourself from the confines of outdated beliefs and open the door to innovative strategies that can redefine your financial destiny. Investing in knowledge also means being receptive to the wisdom of others. Mentors, peers, and even competitors provide a wellspring of insights that, when properly integrated into your own thinking, can accelerate your growth. By engaging in dialogue and exchanging ideas, you not only expand your intellectual horizon, but also test and enhance your theories of success. This collaborative spirit enriches your perspective and transforms solitary learning into a dynamic process of collective advancement. Moreover, the digital age offers unprecedented access to a vast array of resources. Books, seminars, online courses, and interactive forums are at your fingertips, each offering a unique lens through which to view the complex interplay of forces in the financial arena. With the tools of modern communication and technology, you can continuously update your knowledge base and adapt your strategies to the rapidly changing environment. This agility, rooted in the constant intake and application of new information, becomes the bedrock of sustained prosperity. The pursuit of knowledge is also an exercise in self-discipline. It requires setting aside time each day for study and reflection, cultivating habits that prioritize learning over idle distraction. When you commit to this routine, you begin to notice how each moment of study fortifies your mental resilience and sharpens your decision-making in the quiet moments of reflection. The lessons of the day coalesce into a clearer vision of your goals, and the path toward wealth becomes not just a possibility, but an ever-unfolding reality as you immerse yourself in this journey of continuous learning. Remember that every insight, every lesson, and every experience adds to the reservoir of your potential. The evolving nature of knowledge ensures that there is always room for growth, a perpetual invitation to push the boundaries. of what you can achieve and to redefine the very essence of financial success. In summary, the journey toward financial success is a holistic blend of inner awakening and intelligent, deliberate action. By cultivating your inner forces, harnessing the laws of reciprocity and attraction, and consistently investing in self-improvement, you lay a robust foundation for enduring wealth. Each principle, from setting a clear purpose and nurturing self-mastery to embracing innovation and forging strategic alliances, works in concert to transform vision into reality. Let this guide serve as both a roadmap and a reminder that true prosperity flows from within, driven by discipline, persistence, and a commitment to continual growth.